Final movie, Toy Story 3, 2010.
Oh wow, we really got through them all, haven't we?
Drop off.
Toy Story 3. I put that in B.
It's just not in the drop off.
Was that your only drop off?
Bug's Life.
Oh, Bugs Life, yeah. Throw that in the trash.
That's not trash. That's not trash.
Toy Story 3 is A for me.
A.
I think it's of similar quality to Toy Story 1 and 2. It's not as good, but it is a very, very good movie in its own right, and I think it gets overlooked because of 1 and 2. The whole idea of it's kind of similar to what we were saying in Toy Story 3 about the toy store, but now it's in the daycare center, and the different rooms and how the toys get treated differently based on the ages of the kids. Andy's going to college. It's like a big deal for Woody. The story needed to be told. In my opinion, Toy Story 4 didn't necessarily need to happen. It's all right. It's a good movie, but it didn't necessarily need to happen. Whereas this felt like a natural progression from Toy Story 2.
I can agree with that.
And there's so many good scenes, and you're introduced to so many new good characters. Barbie and Ken, very topical at the moment, but the fact that Ken's introduced and they have that whole romance arc going on. Obviously, you got Lotso, who's a fantastic villain. And, Chuckles, the clown, when he's like explaining Lotso's origin. That's a great scene.
I like Buzz's Spanish dancing.
Spanish mode. Yeah, that's the one that got everyone.
I think that's quality.
Yeah, it's funny.
And he's dancing around Jessie.
I really also just like through the Toy Story films where it's like, well, especially 2 and 3, where it's like Buzz fancies Jessie, but it kind of like they hint at it at different things, like obviously the Spanish dancing, or like, at the end of number 2 where he comes and he kind of introduces himself and that kind of thing, where there's hints, but it's not like I'm happy it didn't become like a proper thing, does it? Or does it?
I don't know if it's like Woody and Bo Peep, but I think it is like everyone knows.
Yeah,
I think,
but it's not. It doesn't feel like it's not like a driving force. It's very much a third thought, like second thought kind of thing.
Yeah.
So which I appreciate. Where it's like, there's a bit more subtlety to the whole thing. I think the end scene, well, not the end scene, but what we thought was going to be the end scene, where they're all kind of falling into the.
Come on, man.
That was sad.
That's an iconic piece of cinema.
That did get me.
And then even after, the ending is also heart-wrenching. The actual ending where he's giving the toys away and he's explaining all of them and stuff. Oh, come on, man.
It's a good film.
And I really do think there's so much power in where it ended. And that is then kind of a bit scuppered by Toy Story 4. The passing of the baton to the new generation.
Yeah, I think they could have left it. It's also quite cool that it came out 10 years or so? No, 11 years. Comes out so long after, and yet it's still a good film.
Because of that weight, it cemented itself as one of the highest grossing movies of all time at that time. It never took the top spot, I don't think, but it was in the top 10, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, but then they do that all the time now, so it holds less of a value when they bring something back after 10 years. It's like, ooh, but back then it was like a
one
thing.
Of the first, yeah.
Now it's just a bit like,
oh, you're rebooting this, are you?
Oh yeah, nice.
Good luck, folks. You're gonna need it.
Yeah, it's a bit
strapped for cash.
It's a bit like an eye roll at this point.
Yeah. Oh, that film came out 20 years. They're doing a sequel. Oh yeah, nice. But Toy Story did it well. I think they did that well.
I'm not going to sit here and tell you it was a bad movie because it's not. But I think it sits deeply, deeply in the shadow of the first two. Almost like you can't see it, sitting behind there. It's
malnourished in the shadows.
I would argue that the fact that they brought it back after 10 years while it was exciting at the time, is a bit like we left this behind. We don't need to reboot this. Let us enjoy what already exists. And they did a fairly good job with the story and the characters and the plot. But because of the fact that it just, for me, it doesn't compare to the other two, it sits in the drop off.
In the drop-off, Toy Story 3 does not belong in the drop-off. It's funny, it's emotional, you introduced the very new original characters who have good story. Nah, it doesn't belong in the drop-off. No, that's actually that's one of the bigger ones today where I'm like, it just doesn't. If you said B, I understand it, but it still doesn't belong there. It's just.
Where did you put it?
It's A. It does not belong in the drop-off. You put it B, Joey.
Yeah, I put it B, but
I get it.
I get what Jordan's saying. I think when you think of Toy Story, it's you think of the first one and the second one. And sometimes people who maybe don't know Pixar as well, like who don't know the film super well, you can get a bit confused between the first and the second one. Like,
Yeah,
in terms
absolutely.
of like the story. Oh, the first one, is that where Al's oh no, that's the second one. Oh yeah, that's a really good film though, isn't it? Yeah, that's the kind of
Yeah, absolutely.
conversation. Like,
They blend together so well.
yeah, really nicely.
This just feels so far removed from that.
Yeah, I think it was a really good. Well, let's talk. I'm going to talk about it as if it was the end of the. So you just forget about 4. But I think it was a very good ending for it. I think it was nice. Like, it ended as it needed to. I think it was a fun story and like took you on a really nice journey and progression, more characters, etc. But it didn't feel like you needed it. I think it's like if it has to be made. I think if it has to be made, it's like good film. Yeah, you done it well. Great.
But let's
But
leave
did
it.
we have to make it?
Let's leave
I can understand what you're saying.
I think if this movie was a standalone movie, it didn't exist as part of Toy Story 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, I would put it higher.
That's an interesting point.
And yeah, it's a decent way to end the trilogy. Like, it makes sense. It's not even a trilogy. The whole
Quadrilogy.
it doesn't need to exist. I agree with Jabu. As a standalone movie without the others, I think it's a good idea, but I don't think it could exist as a standalone movie.
That's why I say if you had to make an ending, if it's like it has to be a number 3, then I'm like, yeah, it's a good film. If you had to do it, but if you
think
didn't,
you think it's better left.
if you didn't have to do it, I think I'd be more than happy to.
You think
leave it too.
it's better if it didn't exist? Is what
Yes.
you're saying?
Yeah, I think.
I think so.
Do
The
I think it's
franchise
better?
Toy Story is better if Toy Story 3 didn't.
I don't know if
exist.
it's better because like number 3 did add a lot and like there were some very good moments in it and took you on a journey and it did wrap it up in a different way to what we were expecting. But I'm happy.
Yeah.
I felt like I needed more of an Incredibles 2 than I felt like.
Oh, but that was like a deep cliffhanger. Though.
Yeah,
that was.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or
we didn't even get the Incredibles 2 we were expecting.
yeah, literally.
Yeah, I'm even more firmly in the drop off after what Jabu's just said. Like, it's the way that Toy Story 2 ended is a great ending for the whole
So it
series.
was great. ending.
You don't need to know what happens next. And
It's
in fact,
fine.
I would argue that it's better that we don't. Like, it's a good ending. I'm not gonna lie, but maybe I prefer it.
Yeah,
But,
maybe I might. Yeah, should we drop it off?
let's drop it off. Man.
I'm here for it, man.
I'll accept it going into B, but it's just not a drop-off movie.
I think it should be. Unfortunately, so
Toy Story 3.
But I'm putting it in A, and you guys are both putting it in drop-off, which means it should be
it's
compromised
a
at B.
voting is what we've
But
said.
it should be
in the past.
compromised at B though,
Well,
because the other voting systems were 2 tiers, like that was next to each
let's
other.
go back. Let's everyone check their mirrors. Where did I put Monsters Inc? But I got outvoted.
Yeah,
so
fair enough.
everyone needs to check their mirrors.
Tyler's grabbing at straws here.
fair enough.
Yeah, no, I think this goes in the drop off.
I'm here for it, man.
I was expecting this to be pushed up to B.
I thought where you put it in. I thought it was going to stay at B, but it was more. Wait, where did I put it? Because Tyler, you put it A,
I put it C, B, drop off.
and I put it in B. So I thought, yeah, we'll probably level it out. But the more I spoke about it, it was like, do you know what? Number 2, we didn't need it.
And you
Didn't
convinced me to not compromise on my C.
All right, we're done. It's in the drop-off. A single tear rolled down my eyes. I
I'm
had it
sorry,
down.
man.
I heavily did. I'll fight now again when we do the final review. I just heavily disagree with everything you guys have said.
I think
I get what you're saying. Toy Story
It's
2 is
fair
great and
arguments.
it's a good ending. But if you think about the entire arc, it's about this kid's childhood with these toys. And I think it is a very natural ending to be when he is...
we don't need to see it.
We don't need to see
what
it.
I'm saying is, if it didn't exist, I'd be satisfied. But I think the fact that it exists adds a lot to it. And I think it is a much, much stronger franchise for it.
I don't disagree that like it does add stuff. Or
But you think it's unnecessary?
But I don't think you needed to add stuff. I think there's a power in letting things kind of just be as they are, as opposed to having to flesh out every single thing that happens.
And I think-
take you, because if you think about it,
But that's why
the end of Toy Story 2 it addresses similar like things as Toy Story 3. The idea of Andy's one day going to leave us, we're going to become whatever we become, and we just need to like enjoy where we are. Whereas, so there's a lot of linkage in terms of like where both films were kind of leave you. But I think there's a power in leaving it in
The minds of the viewer.
Yeah, I think it. Yeah. Well, you were
That's
gonna.
good. No, it's fine. There's no point. There's no point. You're not going to change your mind. So there's just no point.
Say, I mean,
Because I think Toy Story 3 is the ending that is, and Toy Story 4 is unnecessary. It's for the same reasons. Yeah, fair enough. The toys are with a new person, but we don't now need to see them with that new person and all of this kind of thing.
Jordan convinced me to go lower.
And then you convinced me to stick lower.
Well, the alliance has prevailed.
Vicious cycle.
All right, let's review this list.
So should we lay some ground rules? I think things can't really move more than one, up or down.
Okay, I agree with that. In Infinite and Beyond, we have Toy Story 2 and Monsters, Inc. In A, we have Toy Story, Incredibles, Cars, and Ratatouille. In B, we have Finding Nemo, WALL-E, and Up. And in the drop-off, we have Bug's Life and Toy Story 3.
Do you know what? I'm happy with this list.
Let's compare Infinite and Beyond with A quickly. Does anyone have a case to slide up or down anything?
Well, I'm not going to be able to, so it doesn't really matter. I would push for Monsters Inc. to go down, but that's just not going to happen.
You don't want to push for anything in A to go up? I want to push Incredibles to go up.
If we're doing that, then I think Monsters Inc. has to go down.
I would swap Incredibles with Toy Story 2.
I don't think so.
Can they all not just sit there as a 3? The Holy Trinity.
I don't think so.
I would be more inclined to push Cars up to Infinity and Beyond than
No way.
Incredibles.
Cars, no way. Cars, no way. Ratatouille, definitely for me, but I know.
Not Toy Story.
Yeah. This is tough.
Wow, we're very split on this. This is interesting.
Ratatouille or Toy Story. I was saying.
So no one's even
earlier.
considering Incredibles here, apart from me.
I would listen to Incredibles if Monsters Inc. came down, but that's just not going to happen. So,
And I would listen
But
to
why is that?
Incredibles.
Why?
because I don't like too many things being up there.
And when everyone's super, no one will be.
Because it's a
special
comparative.
place.
Because it's a comparative list.
Okay.
It's a special
Because you're
place.
comparing it. You
Yeah,
you
okay.
have to.
All right, cool. All right, so we're not moving anything then.
I guess so. It sticks. Infinity and Beyond an A.
All right.
I guess that's the best compromise we can come to.
Yeah.
Nothing moves. All right, comparing A and B then.
Again, I mean, we made a case for everything in A to be pushed up to Infinity and Beyond, so I can't see us pushing it down to B.
I'd hear a case for Cars to go down.
No.
Cars is such a good movie.
I like Cars a lot, but when I'm looking at this list, I'm like,
No. Cars 2, I would put that in the drop off. But Cars 1, that's A tier.
no, but yeah.
At least A
I get what you're saying about moving it down to B. I do.
If there's anything in that list that can go down,
It's Ratatouille.
it's Cars. It's definitely Cars.
I would push Ratatouille down.
Okay, not saying we're going to, but if you had to put something down, Tyler, what would you push down?
If I had to put something down, it would be Cars. Yeah.
Interesting. Not Ratatouille.
No.
It's classic.
They're all classics, honestly.
But we're happy to keep Cars in A. It's
don't
not
know.
on a level where we're pushing it down to B, surely.
I don't know. What do you think? I think there's a consideration, potential.
I understand the argument, but I think if I were to say, oh, move it, it would be because I want to move something, not because I genuinely think it belongs in B. Anyone thinking about moving anything up to A?
So are we saying it's a B plus then, Cars?
A minus.
we'll call it an A minus and leave it there. Moving up to A, you know what? Talking about Finding Nemo really kind of made me think again about my rating of, I think it was B. It's a very deep story, but I'm gonna leave it in B. I'm not gonna push it up, and everything else is.
I think it sits fine where it is. Yeah, I agree. I think it is a deep story, but I think there's better.
It's a comparative list.
There's
Well,
better.
clearly,
There's
none
better.
of us are emotionally in touch because all the thought-provoking emotional movies are in B tier.
Up, William.
Ratatouille, I'd argue, is emotionally thought-provoking.
Not on the same level as any of these other ones.
Yeah,
Look at the films in B.
It's
and
not-
tell me that a story about a rat pulling a guy's hair is not
No.
about an old man who's lost his wife and he's kind of struggling with grief and all of that.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
So Infinity and Beyond is Toy Story 2 and Monsters Inc. A is Toy Story 1, Incredibles, Cars, Ratatouille. And B is Finding Nemo, Wall-E, and Up.
All right, final comparison. B and the drop-off. We all know what I'm going to say. Put Toy Story 3 in B. Respect it. Put it where it belongs. B. You're putting Toy Story 3 in B. It doesn't even belong in B.
I'm all right where it is. I completely get your argument. And
Put it in B then.
But I get why you would say what you're saying, is what I'm saying. I get why you would say. It's like, I'm sorry for how you feel. Like I get how, I'm sorry that's how you feel.
I understand your point of view.
Yeah, I understand it.
But I don't share it.
But yeah, exactly.
Fair enough.
But I get it so much where I'm like, oh, I could maybe even see it like that. But I just...
Oh, so you both agree. Oh, yeah, I can see why it would be in B. So put it in B.
But I don't. But I think the other side makes...
I think at this point where we've initially put it in the drop-off, and everyone knows we put it in the drop-off, I'm happy to move it up to B. Because I do agree with some of the points you're saying. Like, it makes sense as an ending. I just think it kind of ruined the ending for me. Not ruined, maybe.
Ruined the ending?
I think number 2's ending was just stronger.
So I'll
You want to? So wait, so you want to move it up now?
I'll accept moving it up at this point, now that it's a second review.
Oh, is this all what you planned? You always plan this, isn't it?
No, just thinking about it now, I will accept it, especially because of the passion Tyler feels towards it.
But you didn't listen to that passion for Monsters Inc., did you? Nice one.
Because
you're brothers,
Monsters
you're
Inc.
brothers, isn't it? Everyone's gonna know this.
You didn't have a negative passion for Monsters Inc.
Yeah, I just didn't fight for it because I know what you guys are like. I know when I just know when it's not worth fighting. You guys talk about this film 24 hours a day, every single day.
The amount of references we squeezed into that.
Yeah, you guys always reference that film, so I'm like, well, there's no point in fighting it.
Monsters Inc. is just golden, man. All right, that's the list. We moved a grand total of 1 movie in the final review because I begged.
Are we actually moving it?
And Jordan felt sorry for me.
I don't think we should move it. Oh, you think we should? Well, I guess I'm outvoted. Nice. You guys win again, brothers. Nice one.
I'm
same childhood. Yeah, nice.
It's only because he put it as an A, and we both put it as the drop off that I'm accepting a move up here.
You even had it in B initially, and you moved it. And now you're fighting for it to be down in the trash.
Yeah,
I'm glad I could convince you so heartily, but
yeah, I think it. Yeah, but all right, that's fine. You guys win. Nice one.
Yeah, nice.
So that leaves Bug's Life as the only one in the...
It's still unfortunate, man. But it is what it is.
Everything would be in Infinity and Beyond.
I can't believe you put Up in the drop-off.
I felt like I had to put something, and that was the only one. But I like it. It's a great movie.
Fair enough. This is a good conversation.
Looks like that's that.
Tyler and Jordan are the ultimate winners.
Oh my gosh! Like you say, it's going to be heavily preference based and nostalgia driven, and because we shared so much of our childhood, it's likely our opinion will align. So, Infinity and Beyond, we got Toy Story 2, and Monsters Inc. In A tier, we got Toy Story 1, Incredibles, Cars, and Ratatouille. In B tier, we have Finding Nemo, Wall-E, Up, and Toy Story 3. And in the drop off, we have A Bug's Life.
I feel like I got everything I wanted out of this.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, it's nice for you.
I'm very happy with this. My powers of persuasion were obviously
I'm not happy with this list. But it's
are you like unhappy about something?
I'm unhappy about Monsters Inc. mostly.
Really? What else?
That's probably the one I'd say I'm most unhappy with.
You think it belongs in B?
Or
drop off?
I would put it in. I originally put it in B because I thought maybe it would then level out to like A. But when we decided we were doing a voting system, then it was like, okay, fine. It doesn't really matter where I put it. But yeah, I'd say maybe it belongs in A.
My strongest preference for how the list ended probably is to push Ratatouille down to a B. I think it's but I'm happy with it in an A. It's just that the list is just so great for me that's the only thing.
Nice, yeah, we get it. It's so great for me. I feel like I got everything I wanted.
Mine would be either Finding Nemo to A or Incredibles to Infinity and Beyond. But you guys didn't seem to want to budge. So, is what it is.
There we go.
So our compromise list, the Pop Culture Council Pixar tier list, is finished.
In brackets, Jordan's list. With a few adjustments. But no, it's good.
What a great time. I enjoyed that, guy.
Of course you did.
No, it was fun, though, to talk about and fight our corners and stuff.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah. And we just couldn't bring people round, or we could bring people round. And I'm happy about Jabby's opinion on Toy Story 3. That's my crowning achievement.
We should do it again for other franchise, other studios or franchises. MCU one, defo pending.
I think we're destined to do this forever, as the Joker says.
That's it.
And on that note,
On that note, we will see you next time.
thank you guys.
Goodbye.
See you later.
See you later.